thank God the nightmare has ended.
We're finally finished with it.
Yep.
And to be honest, it's a little sad to see it go.
Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of things that I wanted to do, but you know what? I'm not too unhappy about it. We've got a new project ahead of us.
Yeah.
So from a blood-curdling nightmare to a strangely arousing nightmare.
Nightmare for you.
It's a game that I love. It's the one that I despise playing with him.
It's like fantasizing on a Saturday night with a glass of Chardonnay. Yes, that's the kind of dream that I would have when playing this game.
After the Chardonnay or during?
It's during. You sit in your comfy leather chair in your smoker's jacket, drinking a glass of Chardonnay.
I swear to God, I am going to buy you a smoker's jacket for your birthday one of these years.
Hello, everyone. This is the Legend Hunters.
Welcome to episode 22 of our podcast.
Is there anything you gentlemen want to wrap up about Dark Souls as far as comments, things that you would have liked to have done, or changes to the character that we otherwise should have done?
Well, I will say this one thing. Basically, his build is the exact same one as my build from my first playthrough.
Yeah, because I basically played your character twice.
And after listening through the beginning, how we wanted to do more of a thief character, I feel we kind of deviated from that.
Well, we were doing a dex sort of thing anyway, so.
True,
Yeah.
and we decided to go with our ideal weapon, so.
Except for Legend, who kind of got sidetracked after Anne Orlando.
Well, it wasn't necessarily my fault.
I still blame you for the lava. All of the lava.
Well, I also blame you for losing the Leo ring, which lost the weapon that I was going to use. I wanted to get the chaotic element just so that I could try to make up for that, and it still wouldn't have made up for that.
Yeah, because we would need like 10 humanity on us.
Yeah, and no.
Given how often we die, that would be 10 humanity gone.
Every single time.
Yeah,
So no.
Although, I gotta say that I think this would have been more interesting had we done more of a strength-based build.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious to swing that giant-ass Dragon King Great Axe.
Or the Zweihander.
Ooh, the spike.
You want to go Giant Daddy?
No, you don't need to go Giant
You
Daddy
don't
to
need
be amazing.
That's just one of the ways that it's done. But more...
Actually, I was thinking we could have done a Paladin build.
The Paladin build has some nice things for it. The only problem with it is that you need to invest more into attunement and faith than you needed to with this build.
Yeah, which we actually spent some stupid stuff for attunement.
It actually helped a little bit.
We never needed to use Iron Flash or Flash Sweat.
Well, we didn't have the opportunity to do so, but we did, in fact, use Homeward.
True.
Right, and not to mention you basically one-shotted Gwyn, so I mean, we didn't even need to worry about that.
Yeah.
It would have been more fun to actually show off the parry.
Would you have preferred that I die and we had lengthened the episode to about 30 minutes?
To be honest with you, yes.
You know,
I wanted to have a shot at Gwyn too.
You know, it kind of felt really weird when we had the two big boss fights, Gwyn and the dynamic duo, and you one-shotted both of them.
Yeah.
Especially since in the personal trial, the personal one we did through, which was basically our test run.
Yeah.
For this game, which it was I think we spent a good day of gaming just on that one boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. We each took a couple of tries. It was like 4 tries between each of us.
I would say about 12. Yeah, so about 12 tries.
Yeah, and on the 4th try for me, I beat him because I was figuring out their patterns after watching them.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, I killed the Deadly Duo again on my New Game Plus.
Well then.
Apparently in New Game Plus, Ornstein likes to throw the Lightning Spear even while in the smaller form.
Oh yeah.
Which I did not expect.
He's shot me in the face quite a few times.
Oh yeah, but that part of that is because whenever we've done it, we always go after Smough first. So Solera normally takes care of Ornstein, so I actually didn't notice that. So
yeah.
Yeah. Smough's actually not that bad, all things
Speak for
considered.
yourself. In New Game Plus, he did the pain train on me 5 times in a row.
I've learned how to dodge the pain train.
No, what was funny was he kept doing it in front of a pillar. So he was just charging at me and not moving.
That poor fat bastard.
I was just sitting there throwing pot shots at him. And I was like, anytime you're ready, fat ass. Anytime you're ready.
All right. So, with that said, can we go ahead and call our very next project right here, right now?
Yeah, I think we already... Did we do that at the end of the last podcast?
No, because we were still discussing which ones we were going to do.
All right. Well, we eventually decided on an order of how we were going to... Of those.
Yeah, so...
We decided an order, but the big one that all three of us are doing...
is Bayonetta. Yeah, my favorite game, well, one of them.
And Leo's favorite for other reasons.
It's a good spectator game.
It's a good spectator game.
Although, I'm going to apologize ahead for the first 3 episodes. We're still kind of getting used to the pace of the game.
We're also getting used to faffing about in the bonus costumes because we're playing the Wii U version.
Yeah.
Which comes with 4 fantastically slutty Nintendo costumes. Actually, 2 of them are slutty, and 2 of them are just flat out awesome.
Yeah.
Well, all of them are awesome, but for their own reasons. I believe we were stuck in the Princess Peach costume for most of it, and I believe a hilarious thing happened to you, Zero, with regard to these costumes.
Because you wanted to go ahead and take them off because barely...
You wanted to take them off?
Yes, I wanted to take them off.
Thank you, you saved me on that one.
But for cutscene reasons, because they interfere with the cutscenes, and I can't take the cutscene seriously.
That is a good point. In hindsight, I do gotta apologize for that. But to be fair, it's kind of hilarious.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get them out of the way at the very beginning.
That being said, we did have a snafu. There was a snafu with the save data. So one of the episodes was played, but it didn't get saved.
So there's going to be some inconsistencies
there's an incontinuity there, but otherwise it's going to continue as normal.
Yeah, basically we don't have the move breakdance as we had shown before.
Oh, we don't. We can.
But in exchange, we got some extra health.
Well, we can re-explain it in the actual video.
Yes.
I was just pointing out that there was going to be an inconsistency.
Yes. All right.
There's also going to be some smaller Let's Plays going on. Also, Zero and I are going to do a couple of classic games that we like, and Legend and Zero. I think you two said you were going to discuss on an RPG to do together.
Yeah, that's going to be later on in the year, but we have an LP that we're going to do in between Bayonetta episodes. That will be all 3 of us.
Oh yeah, that one too. I forgot about that.
So
we're going to be busy. We're going to be busy.
Yeah. So should we announce what we're doing for the the others?
We'll let the other ones will come out later, and then we can talk about them being developed in the future.
Yeah, well, because first we need to get a good...
We need to actually record them first.
We need to record them, and we need to get a good amount of backup episodes set up.
Because
I like to have at least a week of episodes in reserve.
Queued in advance, yes. Okay.
Because bullshit happens.
Legend, how's your week going?
How was my week? Well, I've been pretty busy with school and whatnot, but between the school and whatnot, again, Monster Hunter, but it's surprisingly, surprisingly social. I've been intermingling with Germans and Frenchmen and Spaniards.
So you've been getting closer to your roots.
Yeah, all over the place. And I just want to send a little shout out to one of the German guys. I forget his name, but
that's a great start.
Terp.
Well, it was a very, 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 very short interaction, but I do remember this one very, very fondly because we had been failing again and again at trying to capture a monster as opposed to killing it.
Ew.
And when we finally did, I actually had to switch out my armor to find something that was a little easier to catch with. When we finally caught the thing, he thanked me at least 10 or 15 times in German.
Dankeschön, 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 Dankeschön,
Yeah.
Dankeschön.
Danke, 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 danke.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Alright.
So, anything else?
And besides that, well, just a big shout out to the internet. Just saying, I know there's a lot of crap out there, but keep looking, you'll find the good stuff too.
Alright. So, I guess I'll go into my week, which has been very busy.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, there's a few things I've been editing. Let's see, I made title cards for our next new LPs. I've been doing projects for school. And I also repicked up Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Ah.
You're gonna properly do the neutral path. Right?
I'm following a GameFAQs guide to it.
So you're going to follow it to the letter and get everything exactly right?
Yeah, I'm at the point where I need to do a crap ton of side quests before I can continue with the next plot point.
Alright.
And the thing is, the side quests are all over the map, and no one GameFAQs has all of the side quests.
You know, I've always had a bit of difficulty with the Shin Megami Tensei stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, Shin Megami Tensei 4 is kind of weird.
It's a grind fest.
And I'm not sure where to grind!
That's the thing.
Here's the thing: the enemies have a specific level. If their level is higher than you, start killing them because you'll get a crap ton of experience from them.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because
Also-
the only thing that it's not really the demons that need grinding; it's you, because as your level rises, you can fuse stronger demons.
Yes.
So as long as your level is high, you can get higher level allies.
One thing I will say is bullshit about Shin Megami Tensei 4 is that is the recruiting of the demons.
What do you mean?
You have to bribe them.
Dude, that's not just Shin Megami Tensei 4. That's most of the actual Shin Megami Tensei games.
I know, you have to give them life stones, you have to give them money, you have to give them your own life force and magic.
That's some of the things. If you
then answer questions. And even if you do everything right, they'll just say, "See ya, haha, sucker," and you lose all that stuff.
Well, again, it depends on the kind of demon you're. Well, there's several factors to it. The main one is the type of demon you're negotiating with, and the second one, which is part of the reason why you get screwed over, is the phase of the moon.
There is no moon phase in this game.
There is no moon phase?
Nope.
But either way, but there are elements outside. For example, you're doing neutral, right?
Yeah.
So part of the thing you have to realize is that neutral demons and chaotic demons are going to be more difficult to persuade with.
There's no alignment for demons.
Yeah, there is.
There's certain species of demons, but there's no alignments for them. Your alignment doesn't shift with the demons you have.
The demons don't have... The demons...
Like in other Shin Megami Tensei games.
I'm pretty sure... No, they do have alignments. The fact that they don't affect your alignment is something else. What I was trying to say was at least for... Again, I'm going off of Strange Journey, so they might be different. But there are certain demons you can't recruit if you're of a certain alignment. For example, lawful demons such as angels will not talk to someone who's not lawful or good.
Yeah.
So that can be part of an issue. I know I couldn't recruit chaotic demons because they didn't like the cut of my chin. And even if I did recruit them, or even if I could talk to them, they would be a pain in the ass.
And yet I could end up fusing them regardless.
Well, once you fusing them isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Because
you
make them so it doesn't matter. But actually conversing with them is a different matter, and that's how it works differently. And actually, some people learn after repeated playthroughs how to switch between the chaotic, good, and neutral to get the best optimum demons and still end up at their chosen ending.
Yeah, I feel like I opened up a giant can of worms with that one.
It is a complex game. I mean, that's why it's so. There is a. I feel like there's a very large barrier to entry with those games.
There
the
is.
Shin Megami Tensei games and the Persona games for me.
Yeah, well,
Although Persona, I don't think it's as bad. Persona
doesn't have doesn't have the alignment crap.
No, what it has is side
Time.
quests.
Side quests and time.
Yeah,
For me personally.
It's a huge time sink.
that's
Okay,
the other thing I don't like about Persona is the time management thing about it.
Well, I was just about to say that. For games like Pikmin 2, and for Persona,
Yeah.
with the fact that it's a day-by-day, counting down to your failure deal, means that I tried to rush through and get things done as quickly as possible, and I ended up missing stuff.
Yeah.
Which sucks, because then I get screwed over for the big boss fight, and I'm severely underleveled for it.
You know, I could recommend a few 100% guides.
Yeah,
There are, but I also end up
there's a
running
good-
into a lot of...
It's a good way to figure out how to manage your time. Sorry.
The Devil Survivor 2 games are also like that, and they have that time thing also. So I don't.
Oh,
those
man.
would also be very difficult for you, I'd say.
Actually, a good game for you to start with would be Digital Devil Saga.
I was actually going to say Strange Journey. Not Strange Journey. I'm sorry. Soul Hacker. Soul Hacker is a good one for you to start off with. It's one of the older Shin Megami games, and it has not only is it not as only a day-to-day thing, and that you can go do stuff in your own pace, but there's also a specific grind tower for you. that unlocks itself as you progress through the story. So
Alright.
you can progress through the story and then you're at a certain level and be like, I wonder if something opened up at the Rhine Tower, and then you can go there and then you fight tougher areas.
Fight tougher areas, you probably get some nice items there as well.
Alright.
I do have Soul Hackers. I've never beaten it because I only got like a few minutes into it, and I was like, oh god, this is a really old Tensei game.
It's not that bad as far as some of the other games are concerned. It's just that where it's archaic is when you start getting into the plot itself, because it actually progresses like a normal RPG compared to what Shin Megami Tensei normally throws at you.
Yeah, I did notice that it's got a weird dungeon crawling aspect to it. It's similar to Persona Q, like the Etrian series.
Well, no, it's a face first dungeon, which is what Shin Megami was actually known for. It had that first person dungeon crawling experience.
Yeah, I was.
The problem was that unlike Etrian Odyssey, you had it autofilled the map for you, but you had to walk through.
Yeah.
So there was going to be a lot of time, and you couldn't auto map like in Etrian Odyssey. So you would walk through and you would have no idea what's around the corner.
Yeah.
Whereas at least Etrian Odyssey has like a tabletop RPG feel to it. So like you can interact and start getting clues about what things do.
Yeah, like in Persona Q as well. As you go through the dungeon, it automatically fills in for you, but you still have to put in like the areas where like chests are, where doors are,
shortcuts, etc. Yeah,
shortcuts, events,
and that's the Etrian Odyssey field. That's where Etrian Odyssey comes into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Soul Hackers doesn't really have that mechanic in it.
No, but even if you don't,
it does still have the dungeon filling in.
But it does have the dungeon filling in. But that being said, if you really don't want to do that, there are options that just let you auto-complete the map.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
All right.
Another game I would recommend, possibly, is Digital Devil Survivor Overclocked.
No, that one has that's one of the ones that has a countdown.
Oh, right.
No, Digital Devil Saga would work better. Yeah, I would say.
Alright, well, enough Shin Megami Tensei.
That was a giant can. That kind of worms didn't see. How big was this can? I swear.
Well,
a couple of minutes long.
Well, anyway, some other stuff's happened with me. I've gotten the Mewtwo DLC for Smash.
And you have a new hat.
Yes, if you've seen the hat that I wear in the title card, I have now made it in real life, and I am happy.
Nice.
I also repurchased Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door because I was severely lacking that game, and I've been jonesing to play it.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic.
Jonesing to play it?
Yeah.
Well, while I've never heard that phrase, I definitely laud you for getting that game.
Yeah,
Isn't that the one where basically Peach, where a computer AI falls in love with Peach?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It's still creepy, but it's still a very sweet thing.
It also
teaching a computer to love.
It also has Mrs. Mouse, the arguably only more oversexed character than possibly Peach herself.
Well,
Vivian too.
Well,
Vivian's a dude in Japan.
Vivian has her own can of worms.
Yeah.
Which you don't want to open up that can because it's marshmallow filled.
Oh gosh.
Anyway. Let's see. Anything else I've done? I also got the original Paper Mario on the Wii U now. For cheap.
That one's fun.
By the way, the screen on that is tiny on a big screen TV.
Really? Does it like fit? How big is it? Do you think? Is it bigger than your laptop?
It's standard size, but the problem is it has like two little black bars on the top and the bottom, which makes it look even tinier.
So it does. Does the widescreen? Is that what it's called when it has the black bars on it?
Yeah, it does the widescreen for a standard TV.
Well,
which is weird.
I'm pretty sure that's because of the definition changes between older TVs and newer ones.
I kind of wish Nintendo could have fixed that a little.
It's not Nintendo's problem. It's the TV's problem. In fact, I mean, a lot of the HD TVs degrade the quality of older games. I know you don't see it with Mega Man, but have you ever tried playing Mega Man on a PS2 through one of the newer TVs? Boy, does the resolution suck!
It also has problems in reverse too.
It's pixel gore.
Mm-hmm. Pixel gore?
Yeah,
Pixel gore.
Yeah, it like the pixels are super defined, so it makes the overall art look worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that when I tried to play Golden Sun on
Yeah, exactly.
this. It looks better on like the gamepad.
It has on smaller definition. It looks better because you don't have to worry about the resolution.
There's also a problem with trying to play a game that is made for newer televisions on an old piece of shit. I've had this problem with Dragon Age Inquisition, where I have to find a completely new TV to actually play the damn thing on because I'm trying to read the lore and it all looks the same.
The text looks like crap.
The text looks like crap. I can't read the the UI.
Yeah.
Dragon Age kind of suffers from that because that's supposed to be like an MMORPG sort of thing, at least with the combat design.
So it probably looks like it was been written in like Sanskrit or something, huh?
No, it feels like I'm reading. Well, at some points, I think I'm just trying to take an eye chart exam at some points.
I would have said Hebrew, but yeah, that works too.
Guys, I can't read shit on this. So I have to find a completely new TV to even be able to read it and go, oh, that's why those guys are trying to kill each other. This makes perfect sense.
By the way,
Then they killed me.
have you encountered Black Bull yet? Not Black Bull, Big Bull yet?
Iron Bull, yeah.
Yeah,
I've encountered Iron Bull, and
How is your relationship with Iron Bull going so far?
well, consider the fact that I can't read most of the shit. I have no idea.
Okay, I'm bringing this up because you may have unknowingly entered into a DNS contract.
A DNS contract?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's a kinky kind of guy if you get to really know him.
Oh my!
Yeah, and,
Yeah, he swings both ways.
and he's also bisexual.
Yep, he's one of the 2 bisexual characters in the game. The other one being the negotiator.
Why am I thinking of Robin from Fire Emblem?
Because that's basically EA's version of Fire Emblem.
Yep,
For lack of a better term, the only difference is your kids don't come from the future, from an alternate future to help you fight. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Well, the other difference being that everyone has their own preferences. You actually have to keep in mind what race and gender you are in order to be able to
Pair with
certain other characters.
It's not like in Skyrim where I've actually...
Yeah, you can literally fuck anything in that game.
I think I played a high elf once, and
well, you want to be.
my character married an orc.
No. You want to see some crazy shit. What was the weirdest pairing? The one I routinely, as my Redguard character, would pair with female orc characters, and you don't realize how evil that is unless you've read the lore, under which it was common in Hammerfell, where Redguards come from, to own orc slaves.
Oh.
And orcs notoriously are supposed to be hateful of the Redguards for this fact.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, I mean, there's worse things than simply high elf marries Nord.
No, I said orc.
Or orc. High elf marry orc. There
Which
you
is
go.
still pretty weird as it is.
Right. Well, it's weird because even they even have lore to sanction, like, yeah, most of this is probably possible. There's a regeneration book. I think it's called Racial Autophagy.
Racial phylogeny.
Racial phylogeny, which basically goes into how Nords and Bretons can breed with the elven kin.
But
Redguards are not on this list because Redguards technically exist as a separate non-human race, even though they look almost human. They are actually considered a separate because they descend from a different genetic ancestor.
Ah, okay.
And same thing with Khajiit and Argonians, because they have different ancestors. There's, in theory, possible for any of the other races in Skyrim to create progeny, but no one has ever fucking tried.
Until you come along.
Until the perverts of the internet come along, yes.
Yeah.
I remember I also ran
I
into some
think we
issues.
had an argument about this at one point because I think I was talking with you, Zero, about it because I think I was saying, like, yeah, someone could knock up a Khajiit, and you're like, that's impossible. And then I referenced that particular book, which says No one's tried it, but theoretically it could happen.
I'm kind of interested to see what a Khajiit and Argonian crossbreed would look like.
There is one thing that I do have a little bit of a problem with, and that is with regard to lore and gameplay. I was a Redguard on my very first playthrough, and Redguards are typically known for despising with a passion and a vengeance. It's even in their own religious code, conjuration magic.
Yeah.
What was I doing? I got 100%. I got 100 points in that shit.
I know. It's really stupid how, because of the way Skyrim is built, that there's a lot of lore tossed to the side.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then they don't reference it again unless you go to the books.
Yeah, which is kind of weird if you ask me.
Yeah, it's really sad because there was, example, the Redguard-Orc interactions. There should be a lot more tension.
I won't deny that Skyrim was a good game, but a lot of stuff that they did was very clunky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was. It was the good game at the time, and you played it on the 360.
You played it on console, whereas if you ever play it on PC, there is a whole world of opportunities opened up to you.
Oh god, the mods.
Good lord, the mods.
And it's not even like, because there's the stupid mods which I will go ahead and download because yes, but there's also a lot of interesting mods. For example, that revamp the combat, that revamp the level up system, that add different kinds of weapons. There are, like, for example, one of the things that pissed me off to the nth degree is that the best weapon in the game, there are only two good weapons in the game: Dragon Bones and Daedric weapons. And basically, that's all you would really want to run because everything else just had a lack in DPS.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can download a mod that basically re-alters the smith and enchanting process that you can basically say, yeah, that's true, but you can also improve the weapon to the point where it's comparable to the other weapons.
Which Not to mention adding new weapon styles, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, and I kind of like this one guy we watched, Scalagrim.
Ah, yes.
Where he says that basically all the weapons look like paddles.
Oh,
oars,
yeah.
Oars.
Yeah. And so he...
Like the Daedric sword in particular, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hold that thing.
How about the Daedric axe?
That's pretty stupid because it curves into itself.
Yeah.
So it basically, because you've seen it, like, it literally has a curve that goes past the shaft.
Yeah. And so if it ends up getting punched back into you, you could end up piercing your own heart.
Which would suck.
And it's so overly ornate and shit like that.
Like the one that I don't understand is the glass armor.
It's glass.
Well, it's a specific type of glass.
It's malachite, which I believe is a very weak
which, if anyone is familiar with the freaking MatPat video regarding diamond armor, it's not very practical.
Yeah, just because it's the hardest substance doesn't mean it's the best at taking
I don't even think malachite's an actual mineral, and I don't even think it's that hard.
Yeah, it's not that. I remember, like, I would remember the geology classes that we take and we talked about the hardness scale. I think
malachite was like low.
It was on the lower end. Like, it's harder than gypsum at least, but it's not by much.
But this is fantasy malachite.
Yeah, but I mean,
we've got stuff like ebony.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
ebony's a type of wood. Goddammit!
Exactly.
And a very nice type of wood, I might add.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to wear it as armor.
That being said, at least the ebony weapons look.
They look practical.
They look practical.
They look practical.
With maybe the exception of the battle axe because it's kind of stupid looking. But aside from that, even though it's my favorite weapon, but aside from that.
All right, enough of that. Let's get back to how our weeks were. Leo?
That was a nice
I've actually been pretty busy playing a lot of games.
The
first one on my list was Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, you have a list?
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time, which is the first of the PS3 games of that type.
Okay.
It's really fun. I kind of forgot that I really enjoyed going back to my roots and playing platformers because that's what I grew up on as a kid. It was Mario and Mega Man for me.
Right.
So it was good to go back and just have that platforming base, which we will expand further upon in the future.
Oh yes. There's a lot of good stuff coming.
I re-downloaded Fallout 3 for my computer, so I'll be modding the shit out of that again.
I still need to get a new computer because my computer sucks like crap.
Thank you, JFK.
I bought Volgar the Viking, which is a side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up, which has the most awesome intro ever, where you're literally brought back from the dead by lightning, so that you can rain vengeance across the jungles.
Jungles?
The jungles, well, the first level is the jungle, and that's all I've been able to see, because boy, that game is like 2D Dark Souls. Like, it's basic, the controls are firm but slightly chunky, and it's very easy to die.
Ooh, boy.
It's a lot of fun. I got it for 99 cents off, or got it for $1.99 on a midweek Steam sale, so yeah, I thought it was a good deal.
All right.
I also picked up again Soul Calibur 4, which is the Soul Calibur that features Yoda and Darth Vader.
Which is still stupid.
But still fun.
But the thing about that game that I like is the way that you because the arcade starts up with, I think, about 10 characters of the cast of about 28 open. So you have to buy and unlock the characters.
Oh man!
But it's not that bad because because you get to do it pretty early on, and you get to do the same thing with create a character accessories, which actually affect the stats in combat.
All right.
And the system is the only thing I don't like about the system is that it's fashion Souls at its worst, in that everything you wear impacts your playstyle. So it doesn't actually make sense for the kind of character you want to make. So you're building the armor around the character more than the character around the clothes. If that makes any sense.
It makes sense to me. That kind of annoys me.
That being said, the good thing about it is that you do have more battles in a short span of time. The load does slightly suck. There's loads in between every fight, which doesn't take that long. So it could be optimized better, but otherwise it's still a good game. I also re-downloaded Skullgirls Encore for my computer to play the newest DLC character they launched, Beowulf, who is a professional wrestler who uses a steel chair as a weapon and the arm of a giant.
What?
And his entire motif is his basic motif is medieval Hulk Hogan, down to the fact that his ultimate final attack is called the Wolfmania.
Seriously?
Oh,
and literally his entire character just parodies the shit out of professional wrestling.
Oh my god.
What you gonna do when Wolfmania comes after you?
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's one of the things. He also has things like...
I am sorry for doing that impression.
He also has things like, I am 287 pounds of folded steel and sex appeal. Like, this guy is ham-tastic.
Oh, that is glorious.
That being said, he has some pretty cool moves. For example, he has one that he goes ahead, does 3 uppercuts to you that create outlines of a wolf, and then he goes ahead and does a backward shooting star press onto a falling opponent that creates the classical 3 wolves howling at the full moon.
Okay, hold it. So you're telling me that this dude took the Wolf Fang Fist and made it practical?
He made it practical and then follows it up with a shooting star press.
Oh, God!
And basically his whole gimmick involves him around smacking you around with the steel chair, tossing it at you, and then introducing the giant's arm whom he beat during the Great War and bitch slapping you with it.
Wow! Oh, I gotta find a YouTube video of this asshole.
Oh, I'll show you that.
I thought the music saxophone guy from that game was amazing.
Oh yeah, he's still amazing too. But I'll show you the announcement video for this guy as soon as we're finished with the podcast.
Oh god.
Other than that, watching YouTube, boy, there's going to be a lot of rewrites after this. A lot of YouTube, a lot of moving, a lot of packing stuff in my place, but generally it's going well. It's going well.
All right.
All right, so let's get down to some Pokemon news for once.
We finally have Pokemon news.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not Gen 7.
No, well, I guess
Or
I can live
Z.
with that.
Or is it? You
Or
know
Z.
what? This might be the first generation that actually doesn't have a third game, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know yet.
Well, you objection. There was a generation where there were actually 4 games.
Which one?
Gen
Black
1.
and white.
Yeah, but that was the first one where we didn't get one sequel. We got 2.
Yes.
This is going to be one
And we
where-
got sequels.
yeah, but this is going to be one where we don't get a third game or a sequel.
Yeah.
So, which is going to be interesting. But anyway, what do we have? We don't have jack shit. Japan is going to teach English by having people translate Pokemon entries. Really?
It's a type of app for like the iPhone, I think.
Yeah, it's an iPhone app. I think it's I think it's just a demo, and then it's a buy once and you get it.
So learn English through Pokemon.
Oh boy.
There's also the Pokemon Music Pokedex, which is, I would say, like Nintendo's version of Pandora if it was just about Pokemon music.
I'm very much interested in this.
It's an app for the Android and iPhone, and it just you can buy each song for like what 99 cents,
It's 99. It's like 100 yen.
which is about.
It would. I don't know what I'm pretty sure that's not what they're going to charge here, but it would probably be something. I would say it's probably be closer to 49 cents per song in here, given the length, given what iTunes tend to charge for game music.
Yeah.
But generally, those 2 apps are Japan only. What is going to be coming stateside is Gengar in Pokken Tournament.
Haven't we? We still don't know if Pokken Tournament is coming to the U.S. yet.
Well, that one it seems more likely than the other 2.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, they introduced Gengar, and Legend, take it away, Mr. Ghost Guy.
I love the way this guy moves. He definitely moves and feels like he's going to be a ghost type. He looks like he uses a lot of tricks. He relies on counter strategies as opposed to raw force. Has projectiles and looks like a very, very annoying character to go up against.
Yeah,
And you know what? You're describing how you fight with Greninja to a T.
Yes. Yes.
And I hate you.
You missed out.
Yes.
You missed out the part where he literally spins around and slaps the opponent with his tongue.
Yeah. So on top of that,
He gives you a good licking.
he gives you a good licking on top of a good licking.
Okay, I'm actually not pissed off at that pun for some reason. I don't know why.
Because we didn't mention Cunnilingus.
Fuck!
Well, it stood a ghost of a chance.
Is it too late to bury this joke yet?
Well, the spirit of it is still there.
I think we need to say its last rites.
Shut up before I have to use the scream bellow.
He wants to kill the joke.
Moving on!
Murder in the first degree.
Moving on, it's time for the assholes of the week. And go God, we got quite a few this week.
I think we know what the obvious one is, so let's just start. Let's
start with the unobvious.
Well, no, that's the obvious. This is the obvious one, so let's steam the air out of this.
Yeah.
Steam.
You couldn't resist the pun there, could you?
So the paid mod debacle is...
Well, it's not full of hot air.
Can I talk?
Go ahead and blow.
Are you going for a new record of screen pillows?
I think I'm gonna make Zero flip his lid.
The paid mod debacle. Steam was trying to let users charge or ask for donations for their mod work, and let's just say there was a lot of backlash.
They let the hot air out of those balloons.
It didn't.
I could not resist that.
The balloon came. It was a.
Yeah, it was.
It was a. It basically was a hypothetical Hindenburg.
Yeah, it went down faster than you could say, oh, the humanity. Oh my god! What was? I think that was the record for a. I think this is record time for a backpedal on a company's part.
Yeah, I think one journal I saw said they won the gold medal in backpedaling.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
on the first stage.
It went up and down in 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days.
I have never seen shit like that. Well, actually, considering some of the shit on my art site that happened lately, that is pretty fast.
So let's go ahead and get a timeline. So Steam talked to Bethesda about wanting to go ahead and open up an avenue for mod developers to let the mod developers earn money off of their mods.
Which doesn't sound too bad, but
the deal was that here's mistake number 1. The deal that was being cut was that out of the 100% earnings from the mods, 25% goes to developers,
alright,
25% goes to Steam,
alright,
and 50% goes to Bethesda.
Yeah.
So that was mistake number 1. Was Bethesda tends to be a bunch of fucks. They make awesome games, but then they do shit to actually patch them.
Yeah.
Right.
And anyone who's played Fallout, New Vegas, or Skyrim knows that they can be buggy as fuck.
Oh,
and if you
had the great misfortune of playing ESO, you have my sympathies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this went up under the hopes of getting people to
Start earning
money. And it was going to be the majority of them were going to be I'm trying to remember what the term is, but it's basically pay what you think it's worth, which ranges, or person could charge between 99 cents to $5.99 for most mods.
Although I did see one mod for just like a small little thing going for like $9.99.99.
Yeah. That being said, it was basically a blank sheet, so a lot of people who had issues were making those issues heard. So here's mistake number 2 with regards to the mod is that you don't necessarily need to use just your mod. For example, a lot of compilation mods that require compatibility with one another required you to go ahead, could basically be taken without a person's permission and charged for.
Well, that just makes it even better.
And there again are a lot more inherent problems with just modding stuff in general. For one, you only have a 1-day refund period to go ahead and earn your money back from a mod that you don't like. Which, if anyone who's ever played with mods knows, bugs can appear at any point in the game.
Right, not just at the very first day.
Right. So even if the mod currently works, it will, and which leads to problem number 4, conflict with other mods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you get one mod for like to make the graphics better, and then you get another mod to add like this one feature to like the characters' personalities,
then they both get into
conflict.
Well, it could be it could be more basic as like 2 mods that affect the same area, to something where 2 mods actually override one another, and it causes a conflict that way.
Yeah, it could end up creating like a hole in the world.
Yeah, and there were a lot of different problems besides this, I take.
Well, I think I covered the biggest 4 as far as the problems with it.
So, a little bit more about the debacle and about the backpedaling itself. What was it that Gabe said about the...
So this was released on a Friday. So on Saturday, Gabe Newell went onto Reddit.
Gabe Newell, high troll-in-chief.
He's not that bad. He did
Half-Life 3.
He did... well, you know why he's undoing it? Every time someone says that, he delays it a year.
Yes. So anyway.
So if anything, you're being a troll. But anyway, back to this. So Gabe Newell went onto Steam to attempt to address the shitstorm that was flowing. And so you don't work... And at one point, he says, if I really wasn't concerned about you guys, I wouldn't be spending my Saturday trying to go ahead and explain this out. That was one thing.
Right.
The other thing was that at the time that he was doing this AMA, he said that the mods generated earned about 10K in under 24 hours, roughly.
Which sounds good, but then
he had to, but then we're losing. He ended up losing money because of the 1 million in extra email they had to go through because of the amount of shit they were getting.
So they were losing money instead of making it.
In a sense, in effect, yes. So eventually, they pulled the mods off of. They eventually scrapped the program. The mods are not going to be charged anymore on Steam Workshop. That's the other thing I should mention. This was only affecting Steam Workshop mods. The problem is that a lot of people use the Nexus network to go ahead and download mods, which is free.
yes.
Yeah.
The problem is that a lot of the mod developers were scared of their shit being stolen and being used to funnel through Steam. So there was a panic, and a lot of mods are actually being pulled off Nexus.
Uh-oh.
So there's no idea if people are going to put those back on now. I have here for you guys and during this time, a lot of people actually commented about the mods, and this mod happened to show up the day that, or during the span of the paid mods system.
Give me money for no good reason?
Which was a mod by Nerd of Prey, who made a character, NPC named Beth, who is dressed in noble's clothes and has jewelry on the character, and basically will just beg for money in case you can't get the tongue-in-cheek reference there.
Well. Please tell me people didn't actually buy that.
No, that this is on the Nexus, so it wasn't. You don't buy it, but I'm pretty sure someone wanted to donate to that guy's PayPal to go ahead and just for being awesome.
Oh man.
All right.
All right. So to say at the least, the paid mod system on Steam Workshop did not stand a ghost of a chance.
Speaking of ghosts, it's time to move on to our next troll, another game company,
Konami.
aka fuck you.
I am gonna say it.
You're gonna say what?
I am gonna say it.
Say what?
I'm gonna say it.
Say what?
Okay, you guys go ahead and say it, and I'll say it.
Konami's plan. Konami CEO's plan of development for 2015.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silent Hills is canceled, and that's a good thing.
What?
Yep, I said it.
Okay, so
Legend has about 5 seconds for the to
can wait. I can wait
edit that
just a
phrase
little bit
before the
longer.
internet explodes.
I can wait just a little bit longer.
So you've got to explain yourself now. You've mentioned it. You got to explain yourself.
All right. So Silent Hills is canceled. That means it's no longer being controlled by Konami, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
But that means that the developers can work on something else.
Meaning, developers meaning
Kojima and Guillermo del Toro.
Making their own thing the way they want to make it and not being bent over and being Konami's bitch.
which is true to an extent.
True, but I'm still kind of sad at the fact that we're not getting a new Silent Hill.
But
You might get something better.
here is the problem, though. It's not listed in the show notes, but as soon as the announcement that Silent Hills was being canceled, and furthermore that the demo was being pulled from the PlayStation 4 store,
Yeah, so you can't find PT anymore.
there was a rush of people to download PT onto PS4s, and then selling them at jacked up prices. For PlayStation 4s with PT, selling approximately, I know numbers going as high as over $1,000 per system.
Holy shit!
Crap.
Vultures!
So it's not necessarily beneficial in that regard. The other thing I should note is that while it's true that Daddy Konami is not going to go ahead and spank Kojima over the thigh and make him put out the games they want to, Daddy Kojima also had the money. Or Konami had the money.
True, but it's a different world now.
You really don't need the support of a AAA company to make a good game.
Good game, but did you see the graphics for that game?
Oh yeah, they were dropped down.
They were incredibly incredibly high res.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember looking at Kadikaris's review of PT. He said he knew a guy who messed with one image of PT, just messed with the gamma a little bit, and the image looked exactly like a photo.
But I also bring up this point. The Order.
The Order?
The Order. A PlayStation 4 game
Oh, that
with exceptional graphics, but crap everywhere else.
Well, you know why it's crap everywhere else, right? Because you can beat the game in 17 minutes.
You can beat the game in 17 minutes. It's not
Which
very
is-
interesting.
which is more of a-
and
Which is more of a design flaw than one.
design flaw. The whole thing was flawed. You
Dude,
could beat
dude.
a freaking werewolf just by
Dude,
boom.
Far Cry 4 has a design flaw in it that makes the game complete in about 5 minutes. Granted,
Yeah.
that was by design.
That was by design, not by. Well, it was intended like that. And there's a lot of stuff you can do on the side, right? For Far Cry?
Only if you choose to actually do it the hard way, ironically enough.
Right.
Which is kind of which has a lot of the only thing about that is that it's brilliant. The Order 1886 is kind of meh.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. The graphics do not make the game.
But again, it helps. Example given, Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is a pretty game, but they focus one part on the design and one part in how it plays.
But I mean, compared to Dark Souls 2,
it was all design and it had
no, it
some-
was all gameplay and not design. That's why they had issues with some of the bosses. What they did to Dark Souls 2 was they added more weapon types, they added more variability in the armors and shields,
Which I
and even in the freaking rings. But the bosses, in terms of difficulty compared to Dark Souls 1, I mean,
they took a dive.
pretty pathetic. All
Yeah,
things
I
said and
think
done.
I only had like one or two bosses that gave me trouble, and that was like the Royal Rat Authority,
And some
and that was just because it was a trollish boss.
and because it was some stupid bosses. But again,
yeah,
generally speaking, and that's more frustrating than legitimately challenging.
yeah,
Yes.
So
yeah. I've had more troubles fighting the bosses and then actually fighting them.
so
If that
again,
makes sense.
again, having the original author's intent and design is important, but you still need the money regardless.
Well,
And
again,
I would not be surprised if this thing comes to Kickstarter come a year or two.
and I promise, almost promise, if it ever does, holy crap, what are we going to get from this? Especially with what's been happening this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting stuff.
I
Enough-
believe we'll be getting to that soon.
Yeah, but another thing we should mention about Konami is that it's been delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, meaning it is burning every single bridge in America.
Yeah.
Well, not that they're burning bridges, but they don't see a point in doing public trading in the States. And in any situation in which you're removing yourself from a market, it is not good.
No, it means that I have a strange feeling that Konami might be going bankrupt pretty soon.
Yeah.
Start buying year cards. Those things are going to become more collectible now than before.
I have a Ghost Hollow Rainbow Dragon. How expensive will that be worth?
That depends on the quality and shit. I don't know.
Well-
It's barely been touched, so it originally saw it at $40, so I might
We'll
get
see.
400
Well, I
out of
can
it.
see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. When the great Roman Empire fell, many nations rose in it from the ashes.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So we might see
Something that will fix the horrible thing that was the Castlevania reboots.
Or the HD release of Silent Hill, the Silent Hill collection.
Mm-hmm. So
Which
what we
did-
might be seeing is the prelude to the sacking of Rome.
I don't know. I don't think Konami's famous enough to be comparable to Rome. Maybe EA or Ubisoft, but not Konami.
Funnily enough, EA is not getting any shit right now.
Which is kind of shocking me at the moment.
Yeah.
EA is actually on good with people right now.
Well,
Small blessings. Small blessings. Give it another week and they'll fuck something up, I guarantee it.
Ubi, please.
all right.
Still not buying any of the games anymore.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Praise the sun! Comcast Time Warner merger is not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a good thing that didn't happen because if that merger happened, they would have owned over 51% of the telecommunications business, which would legally make them a monopoly.
Yeah, let's not have that.
And considering the quality customer service Comcast has,
As in, they treat you like the shit at the bottom of your shoe.
Well, it's a good.
we've all seen the recording of that one person getting chewed out. So I think we don't need to explain much about that.
Well, speaking of hatred and
By the way,
whatnot.
I do feel sorry for the guy who is the guy.
I feel sorry for anyone who has to work at either of those places.
Well, you can feel sorry for my boyfriend. Because he has to work, he's like with the call center for Best Buy.
Ooh.
Well, he used to be, he quit that job.
Anyway, let's move on. In more Praise the Sun news, Gamergate, if anyone promoted #Gamergate when it came out, you may want to go ahead and take that off your Twitters, fellas.
Yeah, because...
Gamergate is now considered a hate group after congressional session.
Yeah, so...
It is arguably after the congressional session in which former Target can't remember what her name is, Zoe Walsh.
I think so.
Zoe Walsh, I
Zoe
think.
Quinn.
Quinn. There we go. Why did I think Walsh for some reason? But Zoe Quinn. After Zoe Quinn testified before Congress in regards to her experiences with cyberstalking and whatnot, it came to a general consensus by the congressional session who was listening to her that Gamergate is basically a flash hate mob.
Yeah.
Which means...
So congratulations, Gamergaters. You are now in league with the Ku Klux Klan.
The Westboro Baptist Church.
Would you call the Black Panther group?
Yeah, the Black Panthers would be considered, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
Don't hate me for one.
Let's see, what
Okay,
other
that was
hate groups
terrible.
could we compare them to?
Let's stop while we're ahead, because then we're going to start getting at each other's throats.
Or we'll start invoking Godwin's Law.
Anyway.
Anyway,
what else is there on good news for people who like streaming? Hulu lands a deal with Cartoon Network for exclusive streaming rights,
which means that you can go to Hulu for any of your Cartoon Network cartoon needs.
along with
There's cartoons on Cartoon Network.
the classic ones. The classic ones.
The classic ones, yeah, I'm talking about lately.
No,
Well, actually,
Adventure Time, Steven Universe are basically the only two that are worth watching.
and I can argue good for both.
I can agree, especially.
What I'm iffy about is the art style for both. They're too goddamn similar, and I'm not a fan of the art style. It grates on my nerves.
How about what would happen if I told you that basically the fusion dance exists in the Steven Universe world?
I've seen it. I've seen Tumblr posts of it.
And let's also throw in a surprisingly emotionally stirring story and characters.
Again,
Not to mention the fact that freaking Adventure Time technically could take place in the future and not in a mystical subspace.
the problem is, for one, I never got into them, and I'm going to have to watch a lot of episodes.
To be fair, there's quite a few episodes that are filler. That if you want, I'm pretty sure there's like an episode of saying, if you want the meat of the bones, this is what you watch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's some list out there that does that.
Yeah?
Because there's quite a few episodes that are basically nonsensical and that are like, kids episodes. And then there's the ones that have actual emotional punch to them.
Yes. Which...
Depending on the episode, and even some of the spin-offs, like just that have no plot relevance, still carry some emotional punch.
Yeah.
Again, I'm still iffy about them because, again, it doesn't matter how good they are. The art style irritates me.
Well, that's you as an artist. As for me as a writer, it's a completely different story.
I can appreciate a good story, but if my eyes are being assaulted by candy pop colors like that.
Please keep in mind that we're doing a Let's Play of Bayonetta, and that anything you say regarding visuals contrasting with the story is therefore applicable.
Yes.
Again, personal preference.
Long-legged witch on a stripper pole. Why do I have a feeling that Bayonetta would be a key witness at your trial for some reason?
Maybe because what? What did I commit? What sin did I commit to get me in jail?
10 counts of charcuterie. See, Legend gets it.
Legend gets it.
I hate you both.
Alright, moving on. Holy shit! Holy shit, this actually exists! I thought we were finished!
I told you we would.
I thought we were fucking finished!
And it raises more questions!
I
I knew
told
this was going to happen.
Naruto Gaiden is a thing.
Yes! Yes, it is!
happening in the future. I told you it was going to happen. I fucking told you it was going to happen.
And I am actually intrigued.
Yeah, unfortunately, now I'm actually intrigued. So here's the thing. Kishimoto actually went ahead and did a Naruto follow-up that focuses on the kids.
How about you back up a little bit because your booming voice is peaking the mic?
Well, I'm
booming
sorry.
voice can
This
do
is important.
Yes!
And thank you for spitting on me.
Anyway, so Naruto Gaiden focuses on the kids' adventure, specifically going through the Chunin exam at the start of the arc. And at the end of the arc, raises a very important question about what we thought was supposed to be a solid shipping.
Naruto.
And now we have plot holes in it to make us think, what the fuck?
Yeah, what actually did happen here?
Yeah, so instead of the whole
We're not going to
Sasuke-
spoil it. We're not going to spoil it. We want them to read it.
And this is in the first chapter!
Yes.
The very first fucking chapter, and we're already going, what?
Which arguably got more headway than whatever Naruto started off with.
Yeah, I know, but I will say this. I said, what? And then about 5 minutes later, I proceeded to not give a fuck.
Well,
But
because
then again, that's been the cycle with all
to be fair, the plot is more of something that I would expect out of a morning soap opera than I would out of a shonen.
Yes!
That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
other thing.
Seeing the photo and you hear...
Don't spoil it!
I'm not saying anything
Phil,
else.
just let them watch it!
I'm just saying the
Let
second...
them read it!
Can I talk?
As long as you're not talking about spoilers.
I'm saying with the big reveal, you should have heard like strings being played, like suspenseful strings being played. That's what I was trying to say, goddammit.
It sounds like you were going to say spoilers.
Ugh.
Anyway, also existing, Fast and the Furious 8.
What
Again,
else is new?
yeah.
I thought we were finished when one of the main actors died.
Oh
Nope.
no, this is a cash cow. We can keep beating that shit until it grows daisies out of its horns.
I thought,
And even then, we
So
keep
it's-
beating it
so but anyway, Fast and Furious 8 is confirmed for 2017. No story details have been leaked.
What story?
Cars.
Let's see. Also on the what the fuck list.
Okay, we thought that it ended at 3.
It's not over.
Matt, Pat,
It's not over. God, why? 5 Nights at Freddy's 4.
yes.
Five Nights at Freddy's final chapter. What the fuck?
Thank you for ruining the mic, goddammit!
And denying the scream pillow.
I deny the screen pillow.
Because Legends shout should be heard for all to hear.
Yes, I need to fire my laser across the internet.
How is it that you're louder than me? I want to know that. How is it that you're louder than me now?
He has the diaphragm for it.
I've got a very strong diaphragm, and I'm used to yelling at kids.
Also, so
You
apparently,
need to be loud. To be
apparently Scott Cawthorne is going the Friday the 13th route for ending this series.
The final chapter? It's not the final chapter. We still got the movie! We're getting a fucking movie too! Yeah.
So
Oh my
nothing
God.
exists outside of a screenshot and the fact that it's coming out at the end of this year.
That and the screenshot looks like an amalgamation of a lot of animatronic.
And this was Scott Cawthorne who said this, right?
Yes,
This was Scott Cawthorne.
This is from the horse's mouth. For the animatronic horse's mouth.
real. It's real.
Sharpen your
freaking
katana,
real.
legend.
The katana's over.
When you get jump screamed in your dream, you get jump screamed for real.
It didn't end in the fire. It didn't end in the fire.
Nope.
Oh my God.
I'm willing to bet that this happened in between 2 and 3.
Okay, so here's one thing that I do want to point
Actually,
out.
technically, the timeline is 1
I'm
and
pretty
3.
sure Markiplier is rolling his eyes right now.
No. Matt Pat is grabbing the table and flipping it because he was supposed to do a end-all, be-all Five Nights. He was going to do a two-parter, and now immediately it's all gone because it's all scrapped because of this existing.
Yes!
I am both.
I remember.
I am both frustrated at that, and I'm both laughing my ass off.
I remember the video came out, and then like 2 to 3 days later, the first part of the two-parter came out, and then 2 to 3 days later, we get this.
And yeah. I was laughing. I was like, oh god, Matt Pat, you are so fucked.
Who isn't fucked with this? Wow! It's freaking gonna happen!
Speaking of fucking, you want me to show you some of the FNAF
No, speaking of fucking, we're moving on to the indie horror corner.
Well, this will be a better ride.
Well, we're going... The first... We have 2 games on the list. The first one is a Super Sentai game that literally wants you to remember your childhood.
Chroma Squad, the strategy RPG.
Inspired by Sabaon's Power Rangers.
That's the full title, by the way.
Holy crap! And, this is... If you watched the Power Rangers, which I know you did, do not deny it, don't lie, you watched the fucking Power Rangers.
And Sailor Moon.
And Dragon Ball Z.
This will bring the biggest shit-eating grin on your face.
And
I will guarantee it.
It'll give you the biggest shitting grin and the biggest nostalgia boner you've ever had.
And if you're also a fan of strategy RPG, this thing is looking pretty tight.
It's already out right now, gentlemen. You can go ahead and go get it on Steam. But honestly, it looks amazingly fantastic.
I might look up a Let's Play of this if I want to see.
I would buy it. But the next game on the list is also worth your money.
Holy crap, this game.
So, why don't I start this one since I'm the one who kind of found this.
Go for it. You, sir, have the floor.
Alright, so to start off with, the former employees of Rare who were bought up by the soul-eating conglomerate that is Microsoft.
Yes, but the story is beginning to take a brighter turn.
Yeah, because all the former game developers of Rare who have left Rare have joined together to create their own company, Platonic Games, which I love the name of that, and they have been working on making a spiritual successor to one of their most iconic franchises, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes.
It was known as Project Yooka-Laylee, which we have talked about before in the podcast.
Now we know that the actual game is called Yooka-Laylee.
As in, the 2 characters are named Yooka,
and
Yooka, who is a chameleon, and Lele, who is a bat.
Yes.
And it is amazing. They started their Kickstarter. As we're recording this, they started it on Friday. And as we're...
24 hours later,
it reached its stretch goals.
Yeah, let me see what it is now.
1.131 million pounds.
And that's up as of this moment.
That's of this moment. Which, if I'm calculating right, that's almost 2 million pounds.
It's made almost $2
million, I mean.
There you go.
Sorry.
$2 million.
Conversions.
I am sorry about that, but still. And also, interesting news, it's the first game I ever decided to support on Kickstarter, which...
Huzzah!
Which...
You broke your Kickstarter cherry.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
No, Kickstarter did.
It might be harder to facepalm with this hat now.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
But anyway...
Do it from the sides.
Anyway, they broke every single one of their goals. Their goal was to get to
1.2 million pounds.
No, their original goal was 1 million pounds. And
the original goal was like...
the original goal...
So scroll up with the original goal. The
original goal
was only 175,000 pounds.
Yeah, and the final stretch goal was 1 million pounds.
1.2 million.
Yeah,
no, it started at 1 million,
really?
Then they added 2 more.
Oh, they added 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay, and what I like about this is they reached that stretch goal immediately.
Yeah,
It still has 46 days to go ahead and do its funding.
Yeah, they met their stretch goal in 40 minutes. I am not kidding. They met their stretch goal in 40 minutes.
Holy shit.
Someone timed it!
And on top of all that, they keep adding more, and it keeps reaching there and surpassing it.
Yeah, and so far, their stretch goals have been shall we say them as follows?
Okay, so first off, we are going to see this on the PC, Mac, and Linux. on day one.
And then we also have epic boss battles for each level.
Unique epic boss battles.
With a pre-final boss quiz show.
Yes. Transformations into unexpected characters like in Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah.
A mix of 2.5D and 3D minecart sections and depots, which are not limited to the mines.
A local co-op buddy mode.
And then 2 to 4 player local multiplayer mode with 4 unique mini games.
And you can expand it to 8.
Yes.
And you can also expect to see this in French, German, Spanish, and Italian.
As well as any other extra languages voted for.
In addition to it being released all day one on all 3 of the major consoles.
That is the Wii U, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4.
X-Boner, say it right!
X-Boner! Quit stopping me, damn it! And then
I can be physical too.
And then the
oh my!
Very physical.
Get your hands off him, damn it! And
damn it, dude! You're asking for the ultimate axe kick.
And then their latest stretch goal, which is 1,100,000 pounds,
which they've already reached.
Yeah, is to make an old school Nintendo 64 style shader mode, plus a credits the DK rap.
With video written by the writer Grant Kirkhope. And the last stretch goal that is yet to be reached is a Let's Play by the developers, which includes commentary and a full walkthrough.
Yeah, and how far away are we from that again?
As of now, we're only about
70,000 away.
Which we will probably reach that before I finish editing this video.
Yeah! Pretty much.
Because
they probably will have reached it by the time this podcast is actually out.
Yeah, and they'll probably have a few more stretch goals, which they'll have probably met.
Yes, so this was what I was talking about before with Konami and Kojiro Kojima.
Yeah.
If they make something with the crowd that we have now on Kickstarter, with this kind of shenanigans going on, if the people want it, they're pretty much going to get it.
Well, another reason why this is going so well is because it is quite literally the original team behind Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie.
Yes.
It's the same group behind GoldenEye, behind
DK64.
Killer Instinct too.
No, the Killer Instinct guys are over at Iron Galaxy.
Oh, they are?
That's a separate company.
Oh.
And they're actually also doing very well. They just released classic character Cinder, who looks like a badass boxer who sets you on fire.
Nice.
Reminds me of old Bracky.
Anyway, but yeah, the only reason this is doing so well is because they already said this game is going to be coming out anyway. We just are doing the Kickstarter to help meet some of our other goals that we wanted to do.
Some of them? You mean all of them?
So, yeah. Because the latest 2 goals are their dream goals. They were goals that they just wanted to do as a fantasy.
Well, they're going to need more stretch goals at this point.
Could you quit doing the Mickey voice?
Sorry about that.
So you mean to take me on a challenge of the deep voice contest?
No, I just intend to go ahead and not do the Mickey Mouse voice.
So you mean to do the exact opposite?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you doing your Kratos voice?
Well, I don't know why I would be doing this.
Pot of tea. Old devil's pot of tea.
I'm not exactly sure what you are talking about.
Anyway,
have you ever misheard lyrics with the God of War 2 opening song? That's what that is.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's move right along.
Miyamoto gets a taste of his own medicine in Mario
It
Maker.
was actually a very, very cool video. The grandfather of video games gets to taste what people are doing with his new creative project.
And at least it wasn't the Kaizo level.
Well, Kaizo actually means asshole in Mario, and I don't think you can get away with that on family-friendly television.
True.
Nevertheless, it was a fun experience to watch Miyamoto go ahead and fail at Mario Party at someone else's expense.
Yes. After all of the failures we have suffered at his expense.
Ooh.
Though then again, it was still fun to watch, and it was still very, very cool. And we got to see the level actually do get played out with something that I wish we could see in the States. A Let's Play TV show.
Which we will never get because ratings.
No, the dude is from a Let's Play S TV show.
The actual event they were doing it at, I think, was a gaming convention in Japan.
Ah, okay.
But still, they have a Let's Play.
But they have things like that for on TV.
I would love to see something like that in the States.
But then again, I'm pretty sure the reason why the Americans won't do that is because Japan also has other shows, which I actually heard on the Bob and Tom show, where apparently there's a show in Japan where a person has to sing karaoke
Yeah,
while a woman in a nurse's outfit is giving the guy a blowjob.
A
hand job.
A handy, yes.
And the guy has to sing until he finishes.
No, he has to. If he sings and makes the song without orgasming, he wins. If he prematures, then he gets nothing. Aside from the feeling of a hand job.
Well, I don't want to see something like that.
And they actually show a picture of the release, but they pixelate it.
Because Japan.
Anyway, I think we're getting sidetracked again.
We're getting sandbagged?
Sidetracked.
Let's go from one Nintendo director to another.
Sakurai, who immediately calls out unfinished games and DLC being bullshit!
Which I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, and he does also defend that fact that he is opening the doors to the fans to add their own DLC with regard to the Smash ballot.
Yeah, by the way, I am so sick and fucking tired of all these videos of their own choices for Smash.
I also have something to add to all this, though. The ballot has caught the attention of game devs as well.
Really?
Shantae's developers are petitioning people to vote for her to appear in Smash. Super Meat Boy's developers are petitioning to get him into Smash.
Okay, Shantae, I can very much see being a good addition.
They even have her alternate costume set up.
Meat Boy, on the other hand, would be a nightmare. What the fuck kind of moves would you give him?
Apparently something...
Splattering in blood?
Well, they did have a little...
meat juice.
But they did have Snake appear in Smash.
Right, but Snake...
And they were able to find a way around it.
Yeah, but Snake's issue is more guns versus explosive. Meat Boy is, he runs and he jumps. That's it. It's not like Mario where he had fire powers and all the accessories.
Mario didn't really know how to punch, and neither did Sonic.
Technically, isn't the guy behind Super Meat Boy also the guy who made The Binding of Isaac?
Yes, and I think Isaac would have been a better character.
A naked little boy running around on the
we
field.
Can't have that, though.
Well, we can get around that, can't we? I mean, we got freaking Snake in there, didn't we?
We can just have him wearing
we
a
got
fake...
Zerasuit Samus in there, didn't we?
We can have him wearing
Samus was a part of the lore, yada yada yada. It was already there.
Yeah, we can
Yes,
have...
but we have a pre-teenage boy wearing nothing but a pair of swim trunks.
That was kind of a reference to the hilarity of Xenoblade, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
imagine if Dea got in there and her alt was the Bravo bikini.
They couldn't do that.
Oh my god, that was really kind of funny.
I don't
How
think.
about-
Well, I don't
all
think
the-
Square Enix would get anywhere near that. Speaking of, Square Enix hasn't petitioned anything for Smash yet, have they?
Not that I'm aware of.
Though I know people are going to try to get Cloud in.
Ugh.
Think about that.
I actually wouldn't mind Cloud.
It's either gonna be-
because I know. You
How
know
about
why?
Titus?
You know why I wouldn't mind Cloud? Because I know there's too many fucking people out there who want fucking Kefka in it.
That would be hilarious!
That would be terrible.
Having the guy who destroys the world?
Yeah!
I think I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. Kefka is fucking overrated.
You know, I kind of agree with you to a point because he destroys the world and then does fucking nothing afterwards.
Well,
He
what
just
do you
stands-
do when you've destroyed the world?
He
You've
does-
already won.
He doesn't even terrorize the towns anymore. Like
Because he destroyed the world.
There's nothing left!
like 2 towns were destroyed. Everything else was fine.
That you know of.
Yeah.
I mean, there is such a thing as one of the problems that a lot of people do. I think that they have when they have like catastrophes happen, is that they don't go over the long-term effects. That's what
and now what?
Like exactly like in a lot of superhero movies, especially like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the world gets destroyed nearly 5 times over, and every time that the next movie starts up, everything returns back to normal.
Yeah, like in
It's stupid.
like in World War Hulk, where the Hulk basically levels New York.
Well, not the animated ones are. I'm talking about like the Avengers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because those they happen like near back to back, and everything's fine from one movie to the next. Whereas we all know that if that happened, something like that happened in real life, that would not be the case.
Yeah. How did we get on this tangent again? I forgot.
Well, we're talking about Kefka, Smash Ballad, whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Alright,
random
so-
shit is going to happen when we talk about the Smash Ballads.
Yes, and I still stand by what I've said before, though I'm pretty sure I'm not going to see it.
All right. Then.
Yeah, no Hector for.
I doubt I'm going to get Isaac from Golden
Smash.
Sun.
But you can try, though. You can.
I
try.
did already cast my vote for it.
Although you know what, I do kind of see the point. We do have too many fucking sword wielders in Smash.
Well,
Yes.
but then again, he would be kind of like I wouldn't say a Robin clone, but
It's hard to say.
yeah.
Now, let us move on to the final thing on our podcast.
And that is Ravenloft, and oh god, this one was kind of unique.
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to have a episode. We were supposed to have a session this. What was it? 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Saturdays ago we were supposed to have a session, but unfortunately Tails had
Had a death in the family and had to cancel.
Yes.
So we pulled out our backup campaign, which we were going to do a one shot of.
Yes.
Which we called the Inglourious Bastard Run.
Yes, basically...
One of my characters from an earlier part of the campaign, Musashi, the samurai, who basically infiltrated Nazi Germany and came out alive,
holy crap.
is going to go ahead and join the rebels and go ahead and join the rebellion join the Nazi rebellion to go ahead and kill one of the head leaders.
Yes.
And then
More so for the point of just saying, I'm going to show you what pain feels like. A la Bane.
We were all expecting to die in this one.
yeah.
We all made it out with our lives.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
So this happened off screen, and the first thing we had to do was introduce Legend's character because his character was preoccupied doing some other bullshit.
Yeah, it's Terrell again, the no longer one-armed swordsman, who's now looking like more and more like a demonic bear.
Terrell is a good man. Though
So
he's doing a lot more bad things now that I think about it.
so
Like murdering children.
since he's still in medieval in Gothic France with Alistair, I go ahead and try to. I set this up as a escape attempt for one of the NPCs who was with us in earlier parts of the adventure,
Abu.
who's being incarcerated from everything from arson to racketeering.
And lollygagging.
Good lord, that kid is such a professional lollygagger. But anyway.
And
So
he's inherited Saren's will.
Right, but anyway, I attempt to go ahead and persuade Terrell that this is going to be an unwinnable case. The best thing we can do is have you bust him out of jail and flee the country.
Well, we got halfway through that. Because as of this point, the GM has revealed that my character has been having a lot of memory blanks.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact this is because of the sword. And this is basically turning Terrell into half my PC and half the GM's NPC.
Which is not good.
Not good for you all. I'm going to enjoy the ride. Because he still has his I could lift a car's strength. Which is hilarious
And his demonic
terrifying.
sword, which can cut a man in half.
And not get stuck. It's also looking more and more metal, by the way. Like death metal. Its handles made of demon bone and whatnot. It's really cool. But here's the thing. The breakout. So, I get past the first set of guards without incident.
Literally just by walking by.
Yeah, I've started to give my character charisma, and he had it naturally from the start, even without it actually being implemented.
You had it as a part of the character, but you weren't getting points for it.
Yes.
Until now. You were a very chummy guy.
I was a very chummy guy, but now he actually has the charisma. And it is awesome. I get past the guards just by saying, I'm here to see an old friend.
And I'm pretty sure
And then we get to the second pair of guards, and I have to make a roll to stay conscious.
And you fail.
I fail, and I end up 20 miles outside the country.
So, the GM doesn't give you much more than that. Like, do you want to stay and look around, or do you want to run away from the pack of guards were chasing after you on horseback.
And what ends up happening in Damon Loop,
no, you make the decision and I'll cover that.
Okay, I made the decision to go further into the country. I'm not about to stick around and see what they're after.
And so you proceed to flee as predetermined.
Yes.
So
I crossed the river. I crossed the freaking river, and it turns out the Dark Lord of this particular country is minding the borders and seeing who comes in and comes out, and he's on my side.
Which is kind of scary.
It's kind of scary, kind of awesome, and I get to see a bunch of dudes drowning with zombies. What happened in Damon Loop?
So my character gets to find out after the fact that as far as the guards know, a giant hulking bear man walked into the prison, stabbed the guard.
No, wait, he didn't stab. He lifted his sword and cleaved the guy in two.
Cleaved the guard in half, proceeded to go ahead and virtually destroy the prison.
Yes.
Before just walking out of there for no apparent reason other than destroying the prison.
Oh, and I didn't just walk out of there. He didn't just walk out of there. He went through a wall.
He went through a Terrell-shaped hole in the wall.
Meanwhile, the Abu, who was supposed to go along with the jailbreak, was actually being visited by two teenage girls in his cell, and he decided to go ahead and stick around to protect the hotties, which gave him brownie points with the crowd.
Yes. So now he's a local hero.
So right now he's being detained in
the courthouse.
In a boardroom in the courthouse because they don't have anywhere else to put him.
I broke the prison.
You destroyed the prison, so they had to.
When Daryl heard prison break, I didn't expect to break prison.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct. So your character goes
in Soviet
ahead.
Russia, prison break you.
No, in Soviet Russia, I don't prison break, I break prison.
so that allows for Terrell to go ahead and join Nisashi for this little campaign. And Zero's character, Zero had a backup. Was never brought into play before because he kept wanting to do other characters.
Yes, this character is known as Mikhail, and he is basically... He's a former Nazi SS officer.
He also reminds me a lot of the KGB for some reason. Only if your sidearm was a giant fucking scythe.
My scythe named Schwarzwald. By the way, thank you, Leo, for naming that weapon. I love the Big O reference. Anyway, he was part of the Falkovnian Talons, which was basically the SS.
Right.
And through some weird means, the gauntlet that's used to control the Talons had been broken off him, and he decided to make a run for it because that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
So he started working as a sellsword, and the best job for him was to kill Talons, which he was more than happy to.
And you actually became infamous for it.
Yeah, I became the Grim Reaper of Falkovnia.
Yeah, and this was all from what the GM was just saying. He said, you're actually feared among the SS.
Yeah.
Because even among them, you're like, they see you as...
They thought you were crazy.
They thought I was crazy just for using a...
From before you went AWOL.
Yeah, because I was the guy walking around with a giant fuck you scythe.
And killing people with it.
Yeah.
Yes, and now that thing is once again turned against Falkovnia.
Yes, as long as you pay me well, we won't have any problems. So, I commit to my job.
To be fair, this was I was not expecting. This kind of fell on me, and I was not expecting to do this that day. So a lot of basically what happened is a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So we get together and we start out trying to figure out where the target is. The target being the son of the
Vlad Drakov?
Of the ruler of Vlad Drakov, who is our target. So we get information that he was at his estate, which is close to the prison.
Yes.
So we go ahead and travel to the area and we start investigating.
We start a recon.
However,
Their role is not
the problem is we all suck at recon. None of us have the observation skill.
And that was the point where I started wishing that I brought along Garm.
Well, it was the point at which we all started wishing we knew we were doing this in advance.
Yeah. Yes.
So, because we all put our points elsewhere because we didn't think we were going to need them.
Yes.
Right. So
I put all my points into killing things and chopping them in half.
I also put my points into killing things and cutting their heads off.
I put things into making me more likable.
Because you're already very good at chopping things in half.
Yes.
But so after many failed attempts, we decide to go ahead. We eventually find out that there is that
One of the buildings of the prisons is a gladiator ring.
well, we decided to go ahead and investigate through the gladiator ring, which, funnily enough, because the GM wanted to not kill us, not totally kill us, was the night that the gladiators were doing a rebellion. So we also joined in on the fight.
And what proceeded was battle time. We were up against veteran swordsmen.
Which
Were on par with us as far as characters, as far as our general fighters go.
Yeah.
But we had the better gear and we had the better, skill sets.
Yeah.
I hit things really, really hard.
Yeah, it basically was a two-pronged battle. It was Terrell and Nisashi with a couple of guards facing off against I think it was about 6 men. I think it was like
Yeah, about 5 or 6 men.
5 or 6 to our 4, and you had 4, and you were going also up against 5 to 6.
Yeah. 2 of them were archers.
Yeah, we were fighting a lot of bowmen as well.
Yeah.
Well, they did it in cells, so they would have 3 men guarding the archers, and the archers in the back firing.
Yeah. But of course they were crossbowmen, so they had to take like 3 turns to load each.
Which did not help because why don't you go ahead and you go tell them the highlights of that fight?
Well, somewhere during the fight, the GM made me make another self-consciousness roll.
And this was being done at a roll of 10 or less to pass. Any more and it fails.
And what ended up happening was the sword decided to possess me. I thought it turned into a giant werebear, but I was actually kind of disappointed. I was expecting to go into werebear sort of deals.
You were expecting like a Skyrim transformation.
Something like that.
So actually, that would be much cooler.
It would be much cooler. What ended up happening was I just blacked out and just went berserk.
And
anything near me was creamed.
Including one of our allies.
Which includes one of the soldiers fighting alongside us.
Yes, but I did fight with the GM on this one. I asked him, am I sane every single time I was about to make a roll? I made a roll and I managed to succeed and was able to fight consciously.
And which meant that Legend could actually control the character instead of the GM.
Yes, and what it also ended up happening was something hilarious. I remember very specifically one turn that basically changed the battle for us entirely. I decided to do a whirlwind slash, which means hitting everything near me and excluding allies. I hit the first guy. I wrecked his arm. I hit the second guy. I also wrecked his arm. The third guy was a little smarter and decided to parry. He fails, and he got creamed.
He got decapitated.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he was. It was like, broken arm, decapitation.
Broken arm, dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
It was
hilarious.
like a twisted version of Duck Duck Goose.
Yeah, main dead.
Yes. And
Main?
those 3 were no longer able to fight, and they lost their morale.
And started to run.
Okay. Meanwhile, on the other side, I was taking care of basically 5 guys.
Yeah, by yourself.
Yeah. So
And-
the first thing I do is I chop off the first guy's arm off.
You chopped off the first guy's arm off.
Yep. With one swift motion, I chopped off his sword arm.
It was so gone, it needed 2 offs to take it off. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then everyone was freaked out about that. And then my next turn, I actually managed to kill one of the archers. And then around that time, I believe you, Terrell and Nisashi were coming in, and they were running away. But I managed to grab a hold of the guy with his arm lopped off.
And managed to control your bloodlust long enough for us to take a prisoner.
Oh
Right.
yeah, that's right. I have bloodlust, so that means every time a person is wounded, I have to roll to not kill them.
And you have to and even if you do kill them, you have to double kill them and make sure that they are dead.
Yes.
Funnily enough, Terrell does not have bloodlust.
Ironically enough, because of my Samurai's Code of Honor, we eventually did have to kill him, but that was later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
I
we
did. My character wasn't helpless too. I did manage to go ahead and cut many people's heads off, which made for a nice bounty because my character needs to take heads.
Yeah. Anyway, we took the severed arm guy.
It's a disgusting thing, mind you. Those heads get rotten really quick.
Yeah, though there are ways to preserve them. Anyway, that's besides the point.
So we start interrogating him about the target's location.
Actually, I interrogate him because I actually have the interrogation still.
Right, we leave that to you.
Yeah, so he doesn't respond. I punch him in the gut, and I actually managed to not kill him because, for God's sake, I have a strength of 14.
You know, you have a strength of 17.
Thank you.
But you're actually very. You actually hurt a lot more than your size would otherwise indicate.
Yeah, because apparently I'm like a 6-foot-tall, scrawny guy.
You're 6 foot tall, thin, and then you have anime muscle, which means that you actually punch much more than you normally would.
Yeah.
So
I have Kenichi's build.
yeah.
You're taller than Kenichi, but I will digress.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
I managed to get like the lowest damage possible for a punch.
but you still hurt him enough that it makes him cooperative.
And stings like a bird.
So we find out that arguably the best way to go ahead and infiltrate the mansion is via the servants' quarters.
Which is in the back.
Alright.
But
And-
thanks to us saving all the gladiators, they decide to help us.
Which means that we are going to do a massive siege.
Yes.
So we decide. So what do we do with the prisoner?
Well,
Which one of us is going to kill him, guys?
which one is going to kill him?
I
think I will. I did make it a quick and painless kill, but the
Well-
fact that he was a helpless prisoner and begging for mercy, and the fact that I murdered him in cold blood, meant that the Dark Powers took notice again.
And your self-control is now 9 for the blackout checks.
Yep. Which is horrible.
And the GM was even concerned, like, really? None of you guys have anything that prevents this? And I even told him, my code of honor basically says he has to die because he disgraced his nation.
And I'm an interrogator. If I've got all my information, the
There's no
informant's useless.
Not to mention, you would have had to roll bloodlust anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, you should have rolled bloodlust.
I think I did, but I passed.
Oh, that's why.
As for me, Turtle didn't want to see him suffer too much longer.
I wouldn't have let him suffer either. I just would have kept the head.
Seriously, what do you do with all those heads?
They're for glory. You take them home and you preserve them, and they're trophies.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's...
The
Ugh.
Japanese were fucked up.
They still are fucked up.
Bastards even make me shiver.
They deserve it.
Anyway...
The siege.
The siege. Also, another fuck us moment. None of us. So the GM did not mention to us that there was a giant fuck us wall that was shaped like Mineris Tirith.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, if you don't know what it is.
Oh, they know.
No, he had an actual.
He actually
for
had...
the battle. He had a model of one of the walls of Mineris Tirith for us to fight on.
Yeah, he was giddy as a schoolgirl
To take out all the
Well, schoolboy in this guy. I would say schoolboy.
yeah, schoolboy. Don't say that,
No,
otherwise
it's
you're gonna get strangled.
Strangled,
But anyway, so none of us knew how to climb. Thankfully, we made our default roll, so that way it wasn't that bad.
And Terrell was kind enough to start
Tossing people up the wall.
When I actually got there, because unfortunately, Terrell is still slow as a brick in molasses, going uphill.
In terms of both running speed and character turn order, Terrell is about as fast as the attorney.
which is...
You tie with the the attorney outspeeds you,
Yes,
but you move the same space.
yes. I actually talked with the GM, and he said that the fact that I have a reach of 2, being a gigantic greatsword that I swing with one hand, means that I can make up for the fact that I can't move very far, but being able to hit really, really far away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that still means that I still had to wait until the next turn to actually get to the wall.
Right, but once you're there, you start chucking soldiers up.
And
Yes.
then,
So we start getting on the wall, we start killing people left and right, having to make dodge rolls to avoid oncoming crossbow damage.
yeah, and then I proceeded to Sparta kick one guy off of the gate.
Which was fun, and the poor dude, I swear.
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, Wilhelm scream.
Oh!
Which is appropriate considering where we are.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Terrell?
Terrell?
How did the door come down?
Well, hang on. before I was able to, before I decided to do that, I was still throwing
Tossing people
soldiers
up.
up onto the wall. I realized that would not work when I realized it was one dude landing amongst 5 to 6 dudes already on the wall. And no matter how many guys I could get up there, it was only going to be one at a time per turn, and it would ultimately not result into good things,
It was
especially...
not going to work, especially since there was a commander literally Sparta kicking off the dudes you were putting on.
Yeah, he was a Talon.
Yeah, he wasn't just Sparta kicking. He actually stabbed one of them right in the eye.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
So
I decided, okay, I'm sorry guys, you're not going to get up this way. Let's go through the front door. I decided to turn myself into a living battering ram and take a swipe at the door through the seam to try and chop the giant log holding back the gate.
So, first turn, funk. Second turn.
Well, no. The first turn that I did it, I had to roll 5 die for damage. Every time I swing, I do 5 die for damage.
5 dice plus 5.
5 dice plus 5 on top of it. At minimum, I'm doing 10. Which is enough to to put a man in critical condition.
A normal man in critical condition.
Yes. When I hit the door, I hit it so hard that the German soldiers felt the quake and said, Scheiße.
It was like, Scheiße!
The second attempt, not so much.
No, it was a bit of a botch.
It was a bit of a botch, but the third hit was so good that it actually managed to finish the job, open the doors, and we proceeded into cinematic time.
So again, it was funk, funk, crash, doors open.
Let's have fun, guys.
So we ran into the state and we did some exploring. Turns out he's not here, although his harem girl was.
Yeah, so the entire invasion was kind of a botch.
But we did find out where he was going, which was south of the border.
Yes.
To meet up with a guy our other characters have met with.
Yeah, but before we could regroup ourselves, we had to escape. And in order to do that, we had to get through their cavalry.
Which I did a freaking insta slash and killed him.
Yes, I also did my own
Off of
version.
horseback.
And I also decapitated a horse.
You decapitated the horse. I decapitated the horse rider.
I took off the horse's leg. I slowed him down for you guys.
And we had a little bit of an argument with the GM after this because technically, under my character's sheet, he's supposed to take 30 minutes to gather heads. However, my character's been doing almost nothing but neck shots the entire time, and I already have his head was already cut off, but because it was a critical hit.
Yeah.
And it was a critical hit with the critical hit result, which meant I did triple the max damage.
So that head went flying. It was
gone.
It popped off like a wine cork.
Oh God, what's a horrible image.
Which resulted in this brief argument with the GM before a plot point resolved the issue.
Yeah.
You had to spend a plot point there.
To make sure that you could actually escape and not die.
To be fair, though, the head was already off. it would have taken 1 second to gather the head.
Yes.
So it was more of just more of a excuse me button.
Yeah.
Well, I think from this point onward, I think the GM's going to bring down the hammer a lot harder.
Well, it is technically the last episode. It is technically going to be the last session, and the one afterwards is going to be for plot holes, to cover up plot holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Plot
I will
holes.
say this. With regard to the session as a whole, because we did manage to escape, and we did manage to...
Dude, we're going to be joining the party for the big final battle.
Yeah, so it's going to be Chester and Mikhail on my side.
Everyone's
And
going
of
to
course,
control two
Miko
characters.
is long gone.
Oh, yeah.
Unless a storm freaking blows you back.
Unless some weird teleportation magic suddenly poofs him into the area.
Nope.
Hey, where did that ship come from? Oh, look, it's Miko!
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't, like, the only people who know who Miko is like Alistair and Terrell?
And everyone who you've ever healed.
True.
You're kind of famous, dude.
Yeah, I healed the plague.
You helped cure the plague and helped, well, identify it, but it didn't really help much. Anyway, yeah, we managed to make it through alive.
Yeah, in a run that was supposed to have us killed.
Yeah, we were just too awesome to be killed. Or
We-
lucky.
It's probably a combination of lucky and protagonist armor.
There is no protagonist armor. Remember, at the very start of this Ravenloft session, it was a character grinder.
That's true.
Yep.
And I'm still amazed that Ivan survived as long as he did.
Yeah, you were very lucky and fortunate in that regard.
Or unlucky.
You also had a lot of near misses, too.
Yeah.
As for Taro, he hits things so hard that his defense is hitting things really hard. So the only way that he's going to die is if something manages to hit him harder. Or survive or dodge long enough to be able to hit back.
Yeah.
And my character is more skill based, so while he doesn't have the raw power, the critical hits that he does are going to come a lot, and I can actually hit a lot more specific targets than any other character actually could.
And
He technically has skill 20.
Yeah, which is master tier.
now I just realized it's going to be kind of interesting for me to balance playing a stealth character and a quite literal behemoth of a killer.
Yeah. And you can do some very nice technical stuff with both.
Yeah, again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could have Mikhail distract this one guy while I go to aim for the neck of another guy.
Okay. Terrell is still the strongest physically, but I would say that the strongest damage out of all of my characters actually goes to Alba.
Yeah, especially with the lasers now.
Well, not just the lasers. I figured out a couple of tricks using magic where I could basically charge up my hand with a flame that will cause explosive fire damage and then triple that with another spell. So on top of the sword swing damage, I'm also doing around 9D's worth of burning.
Holy fuck.
Whatever I hit is not just going to be sliced, it's going to be sliced and cauterized. It's going to be melted through whatever I slash.
I'm pretty sure you guys melt steel with that cut.
No, but I will say that it will cause some severe damage if it can be affected by fire.
Ugh, you know, now I'm just picturing that one scene from Full Metal Alchemist.
What? Which scene?
Where Mustang cauterizes his own wound using his flame alchemy.
Ooh, I remember that. Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not about to do that. That'll hurt like a bitch.
You do that and you probably have
You
to-
need a lot of defaults to physician skill,
and pass your HT roll.
which is non-existent.
Actually, my HT is around the highest out of
Your
all.
your physician skill though?
No, my HT.
Yeah, but your physician skill.
I don't have a physician.
Exactly, that's my point.
I actually work better for just plain adventuring and, well, just being the all-around character.
Yeah, but being seduced by a were-rat maiden, that doesn't go so well for you, does it?
I was not
You were
seduced.
you were
I caught their attention.
yes, and you were about 5 minutes away from
Death.
death.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed you survived that romping.
Like I said, that is the most hilarious thing where my bad habit actually saved me.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
That would have been horrible. Though
That would have been hilarious.
I am kind of curious though what the hell would have happened. I mean, Alba
That
doesn't have the material for it.
Exactly, so it would have been hilarious.
To the dungeon! Oh shit. Well, time to break Alba out of prison. Who's with me?
Good luck!
Shit. Anyway.
With a big smile on this Cheshire's grin.
What's coming up on the channel?
Well,
More Bayo.
much more Bayo, which will
Well,
become...
we're gonna start Mayo.
Well,
We start Bayo.
We're starting Bayo. Next week is finals week for me, so there's nothing going to be posted that week. Because
Afterwards, we'll see about Bayo, some type reviews.
yeah, because I finished the script for my Poison type review again. Now I just need to have these two chuckleheads review it to make sure it has the proper amount of rage. And
The
knowledge.
rage is evident. I'm going to be checking it over just to make sure the facts are good.
Okay.
Same here, more or less. So more type reviews, more Let's Plays. Hopefully, we can actually keep something more of it, so we can keep a good load on the deck.
Yeah.
All right.
So for now, there's just going to be a bit of a lull in the channel, so don't worry about it.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is Leo Force.
This is Death Zero.
And this is Legend Hunter signing out.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.